The Nelms Dyslexia Center is an incredible educational nonprofit dedicated to empowering both teachers and students. They offer specialized dyslexia training for educators along with comprehensive assessments and intensive therapy for students facing dyslexia. Joining us now for this sponsor segment to share more about their mission and impact, we've got Pan and Jennifer joining us. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So what's been going on since we last saw you?
Well, can I introduce you to Jennifer
Sure.
Carter?
Love that.
Jen is our center coordinator. She's often the first face you see and the first voice you hear when you contact
She's the one
Nelms.
introducing the center to everybody who walks
That's
in.
right. She's sort of the face of Nelms Dyslexia Center, and
Yeah.
she also is a certified academic language therapist and sees some of our students.
Sure, yeah. Well, what's been happening? What's going on? Because I was able to take a trip out there and visit you
Yes,
guys, right?
yeah,
What's going on since then? It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, so it's that time of the year for parent-teacher conferences where parents can visit with their kids' teacher and they can learn about their progress in school. And also they can get information, and they should be receiving it pretty soon if they haven't already, information from the Arkansas's universal screener called the Atlas.
Okay, and how are parents going to receive that Atlas screener details?
Parents should be receiving that information from their school. A lot of schools are giving that information out at parent-teacher conferences.
Okay, so it'll come when you go to that parent-teacher conference, right?
Maybe so.
What advice would you give to some parents whose child may be struggling to read and write at grade level right now?
Yeah, if a child is struggling, the best thing that they can do is get a diagnostic assessment to help us understand what exactly is going on and if it is specific to dyslexia or any other language-based learning difference.
Sure.
And then if they get that diagnosis, the best thing to do then is to, first thing we want to do is help parents understand everything's going to be okay. We want to reassure them that there are programs and really good therapists out there to help them remediate their difficulties and be very successful.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between the Atlas screener used in public schools and then the assessments done at Nelms?
Right.
That's a great question.
So students K through 3 take this universal screener. All students do. So it sort of just gives a little flag if there's some kind of difficulty. And then once a child has been flagged that maybe there is some, they're at risk maybe for learning difficulties or differences, then our assessments are a lot more in-depth, and they will give us an understanding of how deep the deficits are and then also where they exist to help us design and be sure we put them with an appropriate program and an appropriate therapist.
Yeah.
Okay. And what can parents really expect from visiting Nelms for an assessment?
Yeah.
When parents come in for an assessment, it'll take about 1.5 to 2 hours. We'll have a little bit of paperwork for them to fill out, and that will just help us when we're writing the report. At that time, we'll schedule an appointment, typically about a week later, so we can go over all of those results and then talk about the next steps.
I'm going to throw you a curveball question.
Sure.
What kind of results have you seen from the students who have invested time, effort, and energy by visiting you there at Nelms?
So some of the results that we have seen is that by the time they come through the door at Nelms Dyslexia Center, their children have been struggling for an extended period of time often. And so, you know, we often do see that they have characteristics of dyslexia and we give them an educational diagnosis. Sometimes we don't see they don't fit that profile, but they do have some sort of lag or developmental delay in their learning. But I would say 90% of the time we see students that do have dyslexia.
And once they're diagnosed with dyslexia, I would imagine there's some kind of sense of community that they feel that they have landed on whatever the struggle has been. It's been this unknown thing for so long, and now it has a name, and now it's treatable. Maybe you can speak to that relief that you see in families sometimes.
It's almost palpable when we see parents understand. Sometimes they get very tearful because, you know, this is their baby. Yeah, it's usually always tears. But when they understand what it is and that it is treatable, that kind of changes the game for them.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but that's a big relief. So how can people reach out if they want to learn more?
All right, so people can find us at 2781 North College here in Fayetteville. We have a website, nelmsdc.org. We also have a Facebook and Instagram page, so find us and follow us there.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for the work that you're doing, changing lives for people who may not have had hope before.
Right.
You're bringing them that hope. So
It's
we
an honor.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you so much. Absolutely.